Okay. So now step three is going to be finding the value in what you did. Finding the value in what you did. This may, depending on the context, might be maybe the most important step in this process or the least most important step in this process. I think it all just depends on you and what you're doing. But you've got to see the value in what you're doing. You've got to see why it matters. You got the garbage out. You got to see how it's helping you by folding your clothes. You got to see the payoff for getting a job. You've got to find the reason to you've got to find the reason to see the benefit in why you did something. So for example, if you sit there and say, I'm going to take a shower every day this week. Okay, you did it. I'm happy I did it. Okay, that's good. Well, why are you happy? Oh, well, I don't know. So, if that happens, you've got to be able to get that crystal clear in your head, quick and sharp and concise. Why it's good, why you're getting value from it. So, you say, what's the value of taking a shower every day this week? Number one, I don't smell. Oh, well, I don't leave the house. It don't matter. God forbid someone walks in, even if it's the pizza guy. Do you want to gas him out? No. Number two, it's way better for your skin. The odds of getting pimples and rashes and infections skyrocket when you don't take a shower. And number three, for your mental health and your overall well being, you're going to be way more optimistic because subconsciously, when you look in the mirror and you're up in the head over there, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see just basically a giant glob of grease. If someone was walking by looking like that, you wouldn't say, "Oh wow, look at him. He's really a go-getter." No, you wouldn't. And guess what? You're going to do that to yourself too. The same way you would judge someone else looking like you're judging yourself looking like you. Okay? Even if you're not doing it consciously. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, "Wow, you look terrible." That's going to be hard to deal with. So, you have to find the value. Taking out the trash. Lord Almighty, but sure, let's have this conversation. Number one, the house don't smell. Number two, bugs and other infestations will have a lot less to work with. Bugs and mice and all sorts of other intruders and invaders love garbage that sits around. So there's the value in taking out the trash. The house don't smell. You got way less bugs and mice possibilities. Sounds like a win-win to me. Even if the win is avoiding bad, right? So it's not that the win is some good tangible item. In this instance, the win is avoiding bad. Okay? Not everything's a gold star. Not everything's a trophy. Sometimes the victory is in avoiding bad things. So there's value there. Saving up to get something. Well, number one, you had a goal. Number two, you put action behind it. And number three, you saw it all the way through. There's value there. Giving someone a call, where's the value in that? If you love them and they love you, then you have now reinforced that bond. There's the value. But you could be doing all of those things and not know why you're doing them. It is possible. It is possible. And if your existence has led you to that, I just want to let you know that you're not the only person that thinks that way or feels that way. There's a lot of things in my life that I didn't understand why I was doing them. I was doing them because I was told I had to do them. And that might have been why I had a hard time getting behind them. But when I started thinking for myself and I started really trying to come to terms with myself and my environment, I was able to come up with reasons on my own why I'm doing things. I was able to come up with my own goals and aspirations and outcomes instead of being presented with a series of outcomes. This side of the equation, why you're doing something, finding the value in doing something. Okay, if any of you have, how do I say this? If any of you have had an upbringing where you felt powerless, where you felt hopeless, where you felt like you didn't have direction, that you didn't have a say in your affairs, if any of that describes you, I would implore you, find reasons why you do things. Find why you do things. You're not going to get all the answers at once. Okay? You are going to have to walk through damn near every item in your life and come up with a brief explanation as to why you're doing it. And you have to do that. You have to find the reason you do things. When you find the reason you do things, that's when you're truly on the road to gaining your power. You're on the road to having a say in your affairs. You're on the road to operating the way you want to operate, not the way other people want you to operate. And that process is going to take a lot of time. There's going to be a lot of trial and error, okay? You're saying I have to find the reason for everything in life. You want to try to find as many reasons as you can. And it's going to take time to, number one, come up with reasons for things, but then number two, those reasons are going to change. And the value you get from items is going to change. So that's going to be a very long endeavor. But I encourage you, find the reason why you do things and find the value for why you're doing things. If you know why you're getting up in the morning, if you know why you're tired at night, if you know where you're heading, if you know you're worth sacrificing for, I promise you, you are doing so much better than you were the last time you truly examined yourself, whether that was 6 months ago or 6 years ago. It doesn't matter. If you know you're worth investing in, and if you know why you're worth investing in, and if you know why you're sacrificing, you are so much further along than you're giving yourself credit for. Pat yourself on the back. If you honestly got to that point, you are heading in the right direction. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the symphony orchestra, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the Academy Award. But as far as your journey goes, you're heading in the right direction. I promise. So keep going. So, like I said, number 3, you have to find the value in why you're doing something. You have to find the value, and you have to do that. And you're saying, well, what happens if you don't find the value? Well, how can you own it? How can you own an action if you don't see the impact? Maybe that's a better way to describe it, the impact. What's the impact? What's the net positive? What's the net gain? What's the net gain to washing my clothes? I got clean clothes. I can go outside and not have to worry about hot dog stains. I don't have to worry about smelling like a garbage dump. Those are the net positives in my book. All right, what's the net positive of folding my clothes? Well, they're where they need to be so I can use them. Because you could have all your clean clothes in a pile and you can't access them. Or at least not easily. So, find your value. Find the value in what you're doing. Find the why in what you're doing. Find the impact in what you're doing. And that is going to lead you to owning the victory. So remember, step 1, admit what happened. I took out the trash, I folded the clothes, I called my friend, I got a job, I filled out some applications, I got 5 pages written. That's what happened. Number 2, being happy that you did those things. If all else was the same, would I have rather written it or not written it? I'd rather write it. If all else is the same, would I rather take out the trash or not take out the trash? Let me take out the trash. And I'm happy I took out the trash. Were my feet hurting? Were my back hurting? Probably. But you're still happy you did it. And then number 3 is where we are here right now, is finding the value in what you did. Why is it impacting? Why is it improving your life doing those things? Okay, step 4 is coming up. And step 4 is going to be being okay with what you did, being at peace with what you did, saying this is good enough for the time being. All right, guys, I will see you then.